I saw the Mario movie. I saw it on Thursday. And I had a real good time. It was enjoyable. So I was always cautiously optimistic. Where it's like, some of the stuff looked nice. It seemed like there was good care to details. But I wasn't going to be right off the bat like, I'm 100% on board with this. That said, I was always 100% for seeing it. Because I am wholeheartedly a Nintendo sellout. So I'm going. So I finally went to see it after all this. And in a pretty good time frame, I'm proud of admitting. And then I got to see that, like, it was nice. So I say nice in that I, being now an admitted Nintendo sellout on the record right here, I can now say that that movie was out for the sole purpose of marketing Nintendo things at me that would make me smile and go, boy, I like Nintendo. And it didn't offer me anything complex, but it did go, do you like this Nintendo thing? Here's the Nintendo thing. And then, like the pure-hearted boy that I am deep inside, I got to emotionally look at the thing they were pointing at me, and I got to clap. That's kind of the short and sweet. Ooh, my Swerve Sword's back. Come to me. Generally, I'm not going to really talk about the plot much, because there's not really much of a plot. The dialogue is so fast. There are arcs, but every major moment in the movie is like, people will say 2 or 3 sentences. Everything is just sentence, boom. Here's the next set piece or scene change to move the plot along. And that's like all it is. I don't want to just give the movie a pass in saying that, like, because it's just about Mario, that we can have it be vapid. And on one hand, for the critical score on Rotten Tomatoes sitting at 55, that's bad. But I'm willing to offer a firm but as a viewer and not just a movie critic. As a person who already knows all the Nintendo things, I'm appreciative that it doesn't just hold my hand and waste minutes of screen time going, this is the thing, or like, this is just like, let us explain why this is like this, or like where this is. They just don't bother. If you somehow absolutely do not know what Mario is, so you just go in with an open mind going, I'm ready for this movie really to sell me on what's going on in this world of Mario. I'm ready for the deep cut. I'm ready for the lore. And they don't do that. Emotionally, if not critically, I'm willing to give the lack of details a pass, because I got to see funny Mario things. Sorry, Dark Star, you had to go. There could only be one. Pratt overall is okay. Like, he kind of just has a certain way of doing things in every movie he's in, especially if he's like the everyman action hero, like rise up from being just like a nobody doofus into like growing to the role of hero. It's just more of the same when it comes to that, honestly. It's just Pratt stuff. Ow. You son of a gun! Why now are you in this area? Why are you all over here? You vultures! He's there. I won't say I was offended by him. Like, I was able to find the voice fine. Like, it didn't take me out of the movie to have him as Mario's voice. He was fine. I will say overall, what I would dub the illuminationisms were kept relatively low. But one thing they did too many times for my taste. I don't know why they thought this was necessary. They do like 3 slow-mos, like actually literally 3, of like Mario being in the air, his face up towards the camera, wherever it is, and being like, Mamma Mia. And I was like, why? It would have been better if you had him just like, if you had at least one of those 3 times. To have this, like, just have the audio itself, like the background audio, still get a little quiet, and just have him be like, if he's exasperated, and beat up, just be like, Mamma Mia, like raspy, like getting slapped around. Just have him say it quietly at normal speed. That would shake it up, okay? Like, you don't have to slow it down 3 times. There's no need. I say this lovingly. We're gonna talk about Charlie Day though, who I did actually like. Luigi, I feel generally is underutilized in this movie. I like the idea of making sure, and I'll talk about Peach in a little bit. I appreciate the idea of not just having it be the same old of the games, with Peach being the one in danger, but she's not captive, right? It's Luigi this time. Of what little dialogue there is for every 2 seconds of establishing some plot point you're supposed to care about, a lot of it, admittedly, is set up going like, Luigi is scared and nervous, but Mario is like his comfort rock. That was a lot of rapid A pressing. Those spikes are spamming menacingly. But yeah, the movie, to its credit, spends good time. I got first. I don't know what these guys are doing sometimes, but I'm not making them any harder. When Mario's around, Luigi's able to do the thing. Like, the whole reason they're even like winding up in the Mushroom Kingdom is because Mario's able to convince Luigi to stick with them, because Mario's the confident go-getter, just like the games, right? So Luigi's nervous, and he's just like, well, if you're around, I trust you, bro. We're doing this. And yeah, so it's pretty good even when he's locked up for a bit. Luigi's still holding out. He's reflecting, going like, when times was tough as cute little baby Luigi, which was a lovely visual reference to get the baby bros in, Mario's the one who comes and gets him and tells him everything's going to be okay. And you're just like, you know what? Yeah, that's sweet. Like, this is very quickly set up for the most part. But besides Bowser, this is like the thing they've spent the most time on establishing, that like the bros are bros and they're better together. And it's like, all right, cool. And Day does a really good job of being like the, I'm a nervous wreck, but I'm trying my best to seem like I'm together right now. And it's really good. Like, if Illumination always had to make sure, as part of their typical, like, ploy, to hire big name actors to be their major roles, so then their posters and commercials have the splashes of the names of who's in it, so like adults recognize it, and be like, all right, there's somebody I know. I think Dave was a good choice. I actually did like him quite a bit. Taylor Joy as Peach. I think Peach overall is fine. I think her character's pretty like good and all right. It's kind of like normal girl bossy stuff, but it's not annoying. It's done in a good way. The thing that I was thinking about, which is interesting, is that out of all these characters who either have vocal or like physical animated like slapstick of some kind, Peach is given none of it. And I'm curious, like, I wonder what type of decisions were to that, where they're just like, we gotta have somebody who's just like the wall of the team. I wasn't sure if she was gonna do anything like else, I guess. I'm glad they didn't really like hamstrew a like Mario Peach romance. They won Illuminationism, which was kind of eh. So Mario and Peach are just like small talking while on Rainbow Road before the action heats up. So as they're just like doing their thing and talking and being like, we're characters having character growth, you just have to have Toad and Donkey Kong just hacking smash into the scene. He'd be like, whoop de dop da da wow down be flirting da ba ba ba. You don't have to like spell it out. Plenty of actions have already said this isn't like a romance thing. But I guess like the script writers are always afraid that the kids are too dumb. So they're just like, all right, we're gonna have to do something to point out that this is not a romantic thing between these two. But we also just want to make it, quote, funny. So let's just have a bunch of banter of just Donkey Kong and Toad interrupting into this and smashing the scene to bits, just to like really establish that you absolutely need to know this, because you know you couldn't figure it out by yourselves, kiddos, so we're gonna spell it out for you. I did like that. It's just them doing stuff, like they're just solving problems and saving the day. I was kind of expecting a little more out of Toad, I guess. Like, I always knew Toad was going to be comic relief, right? Like, that was pretty obvious just from by nature. If you know Toad, that is largely what Toad is. I was thinking like, maybe this is the time. Maybe now we get the Toad that does something. And he doesn't really do anything significant. He's actually just little quips and loud screaming dialogue. Which, to be fair, is kind of what Toad is as a character in the games. I'm not gonna say that's not really that accurate, because it kind of is. Give him a major moment, right? Like, have Toad have one scene that, like, is significant in his favor. And no, that doesn't really happen. There's like this whole thing that baffled me. He's sticking around with Mario and Peach rightfully aware that Toads are just like incompetent little beans that can't really do much. She's just like, so why are you here, buddy? And Toad's just like, oh, don't worry. I'm not afraid of anything. And I've got to protect you. And she's like, all right, you got spunk, kid. I like that. You can stick with us. And then they reiterate it again when some bad stuff has happened. So it's just Peach and Toad, and they're just like, oh boy, we're in trouble now, but we're going to go face the danger because there's no one else to do it but us. Or it's mainly Peach saying that. But Toad's still sticking around. So when Peach is once again like, yo man, I'm giving you this chance to flee because things will get kind of ugly, Toad's just like, I told you I was going to protect you. So I'm sticking around. And then you know immediately what he does? He gets caught. He doesn't do anything besides be the plot MacGuffin to move Bowser's plan forward. I mean, he has one chip in after that. I'll give him that. But for the scene where they're just like, yeah, I'm Toad and I'm going to prove I'm worth my salt, he just gets held hostage and forces Peach to concede to Bowser's like demands. And I was like, what's the point of having him say, I'm going to protect you, if he does literally none of it? There's no point to this dialogue besides just forcing him in there to get him captured. You could have like come up with another reason. There's no payoff for this. I was wanting Toad to do something. And all he really does is yell, point out obvious things. And then he gets one moment where he helps get to arm Peach. So then she's able to go in the penultimate like fight set piece. And then that's just kind of it. And I was like, man, I wish Toad did a little bit more. But we all know the good part of the movie. Honestly, the heart and soul. No one's going to disagree with me, I think, when you say it was Jack Black. Like, my gosh, what a treasure. I already love this man. And he, like, everything leading up to this movie, he was doing so well. He was just like, the interviews were great. You see him in Bowser related outfits. There's the one interview he came in. He was literally just in a Bowser Halloween costume. And like, what a darling man. He's so good. And he does Bowser so much justice. They go the approach, and I guess the platformers, and especially Odyssey, kind of had this tilt in kind of like subtext that Bowser's just like a big heckin' doofus who just loves Peach. And sometimes his head isn't any fuller than, I want to marry Peach. Just big lizard brain head empty. We're going to tie back to the Rainbow Road Toad Donkey Kong interruption. Instead of just showing these two knuckleheads joking it up next to Mario and Peach, we also have a building like B-plot of Bowser being jealous of Mario, which is the best. Every time he hears anything about like Mario being close near Peach, he's just like, who is that man? What does she think of her? Or of him, excuse me. Is he attractive? Does he have glistening muscles? If he strolled up on a beach in a Speedo, would she swoon? It's just like, alright, that last line wasn't in there, but that's basically the energy he was radiating in that he's just like this petty, silly guy who's just like a lovesick himbo with no thoughts, and it's so good. And Jack Black sells it well. Nintendo people who've been with Bowser for ages know soft Bowser is best Bowser. Because I love that he just gets the superstar, and his whole plan is like, yeah, now that I have this, I'm just going to go show Peach how awesome and cool I am. The moment I step up through that door, she's gonna fall in love madly with me. I'm gonna practice my cheesy pickup lines to have her marry me on the spot. There's like one actual song performed by actors, and it's him. The piano piece that he does is so good. I love it so much. And that is just like Jack Black belting out. And it's great because like he's gotta ad-lib it, right? Like it's so low in syllable count. Like the lines are just, ow, you jerk, are just short enough. This is the stuff you could just think on the spot. And it's great. Like, I'm just trying to think about it, where it's just like, you could come up with anything. Like, I bet I could come up. Give me a second. Princess Peach, I'll come clean. With you around, I can't be mean. But when you pass me by, my heart starts to cry. With that, like, real rasp to it, right? Just like that. And boom, that was 10 seconds. Oh man, what's another one you could do? Where it's just like, it was us on this road till it was stopped by Toad. Or something like that. It's so easy just to be like, to sit Jack Black with this thing for 5 minutes and boom. That's the energy I get from this song. Is it appeals to me as a casual spaceship, like from the hip lyric singer. Tack again. Oh my god. Jack Black strikes me as a kindred spirit in that regard. I hear this Bowser song and that's what I sense. Oh, Jack Black, thank you. Thank you, and Tuxedo Bowser. Illumination, you did all right. I can't be mad when it was Tuxedo Bowser. We know Donkey Kong's in the movie. I've already kind of did a passing glance to him once or twice. So we hear Rogan's in the movie, and it's just like, well, he's here, right? And he definitely just sounds like he's here. I guess they were just hiring him for being Seth Rogen, because that's a name adults will show up for. You see his very quickly ushered in, like, character arc is just the slacker guy proves himself to some disapproving authority figure. Would I say, like, I'd want it to be Rogan if you gave me other alternatives? Like, no, probably not. Like, it was fine. Like, he wasn't bad. It just kind of felt like he was there like Pratt. They could literally be in any sitcom together, saying the same dialogue. Like, it's just like Step Brothers, basically. And that's all it is. It's like not even specifically just Mario and Donkey Kong. It's just two guys with disapproving dads just like doing their normal voices at each other. You could just actually put them in any other real life sitcom, like comedy movie, where disapproving dads was like the point of contention for two dude bros. And that's literally all Pratt and Rogan are doing. And it's fine in this movie. Like, I won't say that was bad. It was just passable. In terms of trying to give us a character arc to put those two on, it was okay. And I like that they never truly quite become like friends. They're firmly in like the Sonic Knuckles frenemy category more than they are like chums. I really liked the original score, even though it was mainly just weaving in Nintendo themes. The nods were very good. The suits up high in Illumination decided in order to make it more generally marketable and fit the Illuminationisms that they do, because God forbid we couldn't just escape all Illuminationisms in like in general. They just had to slip more in. So they're just like, you know what? Put in pop music. And you know what it is too? Like, the worst thing is it's exactly out of the Marvel, like literally the Marvel playbook, which does not help when Chris Pratt is your lead for you to choose that your pop culture music is like 80s, like pop stuff. All right, what are you trying to do? I'm just gonna point this out. Like, do not tell me Chris Pratt is the lead and then you start playing Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero. Like, this is literally just Guardians of the Galaxy. You get Take On Me. It's Thunderstruck, which is like, you know, a song prominently played, I think, in Thor. So this is all just stuff I've already heard, like, heard to death. It already became popular back in, like, the mainstream zeitgeist by Marvel doing it. So now you're just digging its corpse up again and playing the same things I've already heard. And like, look, I like Holding Out for a Hero. If that song has been around since Shrek 2 and came back in Guardians, and now they dug it up again, and you're just like, come on, man, I didn't need this. The one that Little Groot plays as they're fighting the monster, whatever that one is, that's the other one they pick. Yeah, it's just like, it's literally all just Guardians. Out of all the songs from the 80s you could have done, if you're just like, this is an old school property, so let's go get up some oldies but goodies. You just had to pick the same exact ones that Marvel already did. Like, come on, Illumination. Like, I know you guys, I'm not expecting you to reach deep into the barrel here, but like, you actually just grabbed from the lid. You didn't even open the barrel. I like Cranky Kong in the games, but yeah, his accent was really forced. He didn't have a lot of speaking lines, so I guess I didn't really think about it like too hard. I think the actor was having fun, but I don't think anyone in the studio bothered to tell him he was going too far. It sounds like the voice of an adult you would hear out of Codename's Kid Next Door. Like the random parent of one of the kid operatives who's just like not technically a villain, but they're like still annoying and in the way of the kids, and they're just like, oh, mom. It's like that's Cranky Kong. There were more subtle ways to try to do that. You didn't have to go KND on us, I think. Tack again. Give me the giant pillar. Tack's even still underground in the same location. Get out of here. How dare you taint my final run of the night. I'm glad that Martinet was able to be given actually two roles. The one really obvious Mario stand-in, the real-life arcade Jumpman with the Mario voice, was a really like humorous way to force in a passing of the torch. And then to have him be Mario's dad was a nice touch too, because I could hear it, especially later in the movie, just hear like normal Charles Martinet voice coming out of it. And you're like, oh good, yeah, he's not just cameoing to do the Mario voice, like solely to do the Mario voice. They actually gave him like a B character to voice. And it's like, thank you guys, like, that's respectful enough. I can't be mad. Like, I can't say Martinet got the shaft for that. I think it was fine. And that's pretty much it. Definitely glad I saw it. You got to hear me have some strong nitpicks. But regardless of my nitpicks, I do really enjoy the fact I went and saw it.